You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Welcome to Rom Wills, About That Business. Don't just talk about starting a business. Don't just talk about starting a business. What you need to be doing? Actually starting the business. Just do it. You need to be working towards it. See, I'm going to tell you something now I've seen with a lot of people. And this ain't for y'all entrepreneurs because y'all already did all this. This ain't even a refresher for you. This is preaching to the choir for you, what I'm about to talk about. But this is for those people who will constantly talk about, oh, yeah, I need to start a business here, or I would like to start a business, or, I wish I had a business doing this. Okay, good. Hey, okay, at least you're at least talking about it. But you can't just talk about it. You have to go do it. Do it. And even if you don't have the business right away, somebody should be to ask you, well, what you doing towards it? Now, you might not have done the official paperwork, whether it's, forming that LLC or just getting a name and forming a sole proprietorship at the lowest level or a serious corporation. You don't have to be doing that at the moment because, there's a lot there. But you should at the very least be looking into it. You should at the very least be studying and seriously looking into the area you're thinking about doing a business. Now, it don't necessarily mean you have to jump into that area. It just means you're at least doing some due diligence. Like you might look into that area and say, you know what, this ain't the business for me. There's a lot here. And there's nothing wrong with that because it means that at the very least, you looked into it. You thought about it. You were working towards it, like you're doing the studying, And then even with the studying, there's got to come a point where you still going to make the leap. Because sometimes you do get some people, they don't just talk about it. They start studying the business, looking into it. But then it's like 3 years later, I'm like, well, have you did anything? They like, no. Like I said, you can form a sole proprietorship right away, Now, it's better if you form an LLC if you got assets such as a house or some things you don't want to lose but I'm just saying that's how easy it is. That's how easy it is. So it's no problem. But you got to do it. You got to figure it. You got to make the steps. And sometimes, and even when you get there, like each step that you take, okay, you beyond studying, you started a business. Okay, you still got to actually do something with the business. Because some people, they'll start the business, say, yeah, I had this business doing this. I got the business plan. Okay. Have you started working on some stuff? And then working on the stuff, and when I say working on it, I'm like, well, you getting that business ready to do something. You looking for clients and stuff. Because sometimes people get to certain steps and then they there's a lot of people, actually there's a lot of business owners out there who don't do anything active with their business. There's a lot, and they'll tell you too. They don't do anything active to promote it, nothing at all. But you got to always be working towards it because you got to create it. It's not going to create itself. It's not going to create itself. And is it going to be perfect as you creating it, as you working towards it? Yeah, probably not. Look, probably not. There's always going to something always come up. But even if stuff come up, that's actually good because then you learn how to make certain steps. You learn how to deal with it. It's like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't realize I had to fill all this out. Okay, don't get mad. Don't be disappointed. It's like, okay, let me fill out this too. Or let me do this. Let me get this stuff, Like one of the things you got to do in the process, maybe if you take some seminars, some classes, if you can, depending on the business. Or, maybe even work for somebody who's in the business. You might not want to tell them you're trying to get in the same business, so they can get a little funky. But do something. Shoot, ask questions. Depending on what you're doing, you can ask a person what they're doing. Depending. Like some people are cool with teaching you something if they don't think you're going to be a direct competitor. But then if it's a business like, okay, like publishing, I've had people over the years consistently ask me about publishing books and selling them and stuff. And that's because that's one of those areas there's no such thing as a market share. It really ain't. It really ain't. Because a person can buy, if you have 30 authors, they can't look at each other like they're competing, because that person, a customer, can buy books from all 30 people. If you look at the average book person, they got hundreds of books on a bookshelf. They buying constant, so you're not really competing. So in a field like that, where there's no real competition, shit, you can ask somebody, they'll probably tell you everything. But don't be afraid to do that. You got to constantly work towards whatever that you're trying to create. Don't just talk about it. You have to do it. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Let's go make that money.